Hey there YouTube, Double Slasher here coming to you with my deck profile on my Break Ride Duke. I've gotten a lot of requests doing a deck profile on this since I keep posting videos of my tournament finals using this. It's not really that different from other Break Ride Duke builds, but it's quite effective. Uh, Actually, the reason why I'm posting this right now because this Friday my me and my friends BT10 box are coming, so I'm going to change deck to Liberators for a while, but that doesn't mean I'm still not gonna use this. Actually, this is more effective than the pure Liberator, Alfred Liberator deck. It's more effective since you get the maximum output of your Break Ride, and it's still, the Vortimer ride chain is still fast. So anyways, let's get started. First off, the starter, the Vortimer, of course. Since this is a Spectral Duke, you use the ride chain, then "12 crits." This is my secret for topping. Actually, it's not really a secret, more rather sacking powers, because if you can finish games faster if you know you can crit your opponents faster. And using the Vortimer ride chain, you actually don't. If you pull off the ride chain, you don't need draw triggers anymore, since you're gonna fill up your field anyway. And of course, this build is for those people who like to rush opponents. This is more beneficial for players that rush opponents. So 12 crits. Now replace this too with Epona Liberator once it comes out. Sorry. And yeah, that's basically it. And of course, if I use 12 crits, I use 4 heals. Sorry, 4 heals. Now, a lot of you are questioning why no draws. Again, the Vortimer ride chain does that for you, the advantage. And if you don't pull off the ride chain, at least you're not going to be your games are going to be faster if your opponent keeps on letting your Vanguard pass and you manage to drive a crit. Also, since there's no draw triggers and this is a Spectral Duke deck, I'm not afraid of giving the crit power or any power in general to the Vanguard, since there's no draw triggers to screw up my drive check. In my opinion, draw triggers screws up the drive check a lot of times, because every time I pull a draw trigger, it lets me draw my crit or my heal or perhaps another draw, which I don't really like in draw triggers. So for the grade 1s, of course, the grade 1 Vortimer, 4 copies, and staple for perfect guards. It's going to be replaced by Halo Liberator. 2 Slagle Daggers and 4 Garrets. Now, why not? Someone asked me why not 4 Slagle and 2 Garrets. Considering this is a Spectral Duke deck, there's no 10k grade 1 and there's no 12k grade 2. So I really need the Garrets to create at least anti-11k columns. And Slagle Dagger, if I don't ride Spectral Duke and I have an unused Counterblast, Slagle Dagger is very good in the late game where you want to push. Once, or actually 3 times now, I use Slagle Dagger to Counterblast 5 to let it gain 10,000 power just to finish the game. Since on that games, I didn't manage to ride Spectral Duke and all I have is a Gansalot. Or there is even one game that I Break Ride Gansalot to another Gansalot, then use Counterblast 5 on Slagle Dagger to for overkill. Basically it. Then for the grade 2s, again, the ride chain, Mortimer grade 2. 4 Vivians and 3 Galatines. Okay, so Vivian plays a crucial part of this deck. Excuse me, I have a flu. Vivian practically is the best grade 2 in this deck, since along with Slagle or Garrett, it can push 11Ks and MLB decks for pressure. And when you pull off the right chain and you manage to superior call this Vivian or a booster, it practically creates 2 perfect columns for pressure early game. Now I've also been asked why didn't I run Blaster Blade Liberator or Blaster Dark Spirit or Blaster Blade Spirit? The problem is, I find that if you superior call the spirits with the right chain, and you either have no counterblast or opponent has no rear guard, it's basically useless. And not to mention their drawbacks, that if your opponent attacks them regardless, they commit suicide. So actually Vivian, in my opinion, is better. And if you really want those 10Ks, Galatine or maybe Bowmains can do the job as well. But Vivian here in the Mortimer right chain is better, in my opinion. As for what you call this, here's me again. Yeah, Vivian is the best grade 2 here. I rather not replace her. Oh yeah, as for those asking if it uses up counterblast for Spectral Duke, actually don't think about it too much, since you have either heals to recover those counterblasts, and or opponent would most likely won't let Vivian hit, since it's a +1 for you regardless. And this is a Spectral Duke deck, so even if you call a trigger, it's still Spectral Duke's food, so it's not really a -1 for you. Just less drive checks with triggers. And of course for the grade 3s, for Spectral Dukes and for Gancelots. Now, yeah. So people ask me again if I complete the grade 1, the right chain, if I complete the right chain, there's 1, the 2, the 0, the 1 and the 2. If I have both cards in my hand, what do I ride for the grade 3? Well, it's a no-brainer. I'm gonna ride the Spectral Duke, since if I have a rear guard, I can retire. It's an automatic +2, and if you really did complete the ride chain, it's a total +3. I'm not gonna sacrifice the card advantage just to break right later for Gancelot. What I do is, if I complete the ride chain, yeah, I'm gonna ride Spectral Duke. I'm just gonna put the Gancelots in the rear guard, and yeah, it's still at the 11K beater. So opponents gonna have to use their rear guards or even Vanguard or even maybe a Berserk Dragon, Blaster Blade to retire it. So while it's still even in the rear guard, it's still good. What I like about the Gancelot, it's not really about the Break Ride, but rather it's 11K power. Gold Paladins never had an 11K grade 3 until now, or rather in last month. So for the Break Ride, let's say I didn't complete the ride chain, I had something else in the grade 0, or it moved to the back, and I'm gonna, let's say I did ride the grade 1, I ride, let's example, this isn't get Mortimer, I'll select another grade 1. Yeah, let's say the perfect card. I ride the grade 1, so this moves at the back. Grade 2. What do I ride? Of course, the cancel out. Uh, of course, this still is a 17k column, although it's only good for MLB decks. If your opponent doesn't have a cross ride, it's still a 17k column, it's still good. That's why I still put the starter behind the Vanguard, because of Gansalot, the plus 2000 power. It really, yeah. Of course, and also as a note, if you don't complete the ride chain, let's say I did have the grade 1, but I didn't have the grade 2. What do I ride? Still Gansalot. Then layer for finisher, Spectral Dukes. Actually, it's not really that hard to think. Or how about, let's say I didn't have the grade 2. What do I ride? Of course, still Gansalot. Only if you complete the ride chain will you ride Spectral Duke early. And also note, if you do not complete the ride chain, let's say, yeah, again, you don't have grade 1, you ride the grade 2. The most important ride for the grade 2 is still the Vortimer grade 2, since if you don't have Gansalot in your hand, at least it will make Spectral Duke an 11k leader. That's important since 10k grade 3s, standalone 10k grade 3s won't stand against the format, especially now when this coming Friday, Descendants is coming out, and also, yeah, there's a huge difference if your Vanguard, grade 3 Vanguard is at 11k. It creates shields for the opponent rear guards if they have 20k columns. So that's basically it. Thanks for my subscribers for supporting this, supporting my channel, and I hope to bring you more deck profiles in the future. But as of now, this deck is actually it's not really my favorite, since I don't really like using dragon types. Hence in Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't like elemental dragons. I like to use warrior types. And anyways, that's about it. Thank you, and please subscribe, rate, and favorite this video. Thanks.